Hello, Facebook Live, and whoever is on. If you are watching the replay, hello, welcome to 365 Days Live with New. We are still going strong again. In a couple of days, I will be going camping, so I want to be going live for those who like to catch me live. Of course, my lives are really random timing, so most of the time people are going to be catching these lives on replay. So welcome back. Today is a rainy, gloomy day. So I am actually just hanging out on my couch. I have like two blankets, one here and one like behind me, just because this is a leather couch and it's really cold. So this other soft one, and I'm just like so comfy. I have an podcast interview today, and I messaged my coach, my coach teacher, and the one who's going to interview me, and I asked her if we were going to be on video because I am just in a mood where I just want to be soft and comfy on my sofa and just do what I gotta do from that space. And I'm just so grateful that she answered, and she said it's gonna be audio only, and I was like, oh my god, thank goodness. Like so aligned. So I love it. And I wanted to come on here today pretty early because I don't know, I just felt like it. I was like, I want to talk about my gap year. And I know I mentioned my gap year here and there, but in today's live, I really want to speak to those people. If this is you, those people who have been feeling pulled and called by their body to slow down and to rest. Okay, so you are my person if you have been feeling that calling, but you have just been feeling guilt. You have been feeling this pressure to continue because of all the fears that come up. If I might not make it, there might not be enough money. What if people judge me? What if my parents judge me? What if all I have worked for is going to come to a halt? It's going to stop. It's going to go to poof into nothing, right? All these fears were the fears that I had before I took that leap to take a whole year off last year. And I wanted to talk about what that gap year was something that I didn't know I needed. Like my logical mind did not know that I needed that break. Do you know who did know? It was my body, my sacral, my intuition. My soul was speaking very loudly to me, saying like, we gotta stop. And the way my intuition spoke to me, my sacral spoke to me, was just through the way I was feeling. And again, that's how I feel my intuition. That's how I experience my intuition. It's just a feeling. It's a knowing. Like, I don't know in logical terms what to say to you to help to get you to understand like how I experience my intuition, because the intuition you can't explain. Basically, if you know, you know. And so, yeah, my intuition was just leading me, guiding me, making things like I was feeling burnt out, like I was no longer enjoying my business, and I was freaking out. I was like, oh my God, like I've been building my business. I've been so dedicated to it. I've been working so hard. And all of a sudden I wanted to like burn everything to the ground. And I was like, oh shoot, like, is this another one of those moments like when I stopped teaching? Right. So I was so scared that everything I worked for was going to come crashing down. And all the investments that I've made would have been for nothing, right? I got into a very scarcity mindset, a very lack mindset, that all I have done up to that point was for nothing. And so I resisted it. For a couple of months. It wasn't until the mid-February of last year, of 2024, that I just couldn't do it anymore. Like I was waking up every day feeling exhausted, feeling depleted, feeling unfulfilled, even though I was doing and working on my business. And so it was through those continuous communication with my body, with my sacral, with my intuition, that I guess it finally got to my logical mind that, hey, we need to stop. We need to slow down. This is not benefiting you. This is not benefiting the business. You're not loving life anymore. We need to slow down and reassess, and see what has gone wrong and how we can come back to connect to ourselves. So that was the conversation that was happening in my mind, with my body. And so that was what started it. Like, I was actually, again, as a manifesting generator with a lot of energy, with a lot of definition. I only have 2 motors in my human design colored in, but I'm also a manifesting generator, so that also makes things a lot more difficult to stop. So yeah, my body actually was the one that like put the brakes on, and I'm so glad that I listened to my body sooner than later, and I took the year off. I actually didn't know it was going to be a whole year. I just knew that it was going to be for at least until, so I decided in February, and I know that I was going to go to Thailand May, June, and half of July. So I knew that my break was going to be at least until the end of July. But I didn't know when I was ready to come back, really. And that was okay. Like, I had to be okay with not knowing what was coming next. I had to have some kind of faith, some kind of trust in something that is outside of me, God, the universe, that I was going to be okay, that the answers were going to come to me when I was in a better space, a better mental space, physical space, energetic space. And so when I did come back in 2025, and it's only been a couple months, I feel like a lot has happened already. I feel like that's the life of a manifesting generator. We feel like we've done so many things, and yet it's only March. It's March, right? Yes, beginning of March. At least that's the story of my life. So, and when I came back, and I was really into human design again, and I was like all in, and one thing I noticed was that, and this is what I'm going to talk about with my coach teacher on the podcast, is I came back to human design with a whole new level of understanding of the system. Like, I didn't even work on human design when I was on my gap year. I call it a gap year, but this is actually my second gap year, I guess. It's like, it wasn't even a whole year. But anyway, my sabbatical. But yeah, I wasn't even studying human design or reading about it or training on it. And I came back and I was like, oh my God, I understand this system on a whole new level. I still remember and know why human design exists and how it works and why it's so beautiful and why I love it, and like how it's still helping me and how it's continuing to help me even after I come back from my year pause. And I was just so amazed. Like, literally, I was like, this is so weird. And that was when I realized that is the power of pausing. When you allow life to really settle, when you allow the things that you have been learning, have been trying, have been just subconsciously exposing yourself to, and intentionally trying to make happen the masculine way, all of a sudden, with the pause, with that feminine way of being, of just pausing, receiving, and being, I feel like that was what I was being and doing most of 2024, was I was just living life. I was just in the moment. I was just allowing, and I didn't have an agenda. I didn't force anything. And I came back a way better, I guess, in a sense, a more embodied version of myself, that I was just like, oh my God, like, are you kidding me? like the years and years that I've tried to learn and embody the human design wisdom and stuff like that, like it was so hard. But now when I stopped for that, 10, 12, 11 months, all of a sudden I came back and I felt so embodied in human design. I felt like I knew the system, like I was an OG now. Like all of a sudden, like I took that break, and then instead of feeling like I'm new, I actually felt like I knew a lot more. I understood how everything came together. I understood the system and why different energies work this way. And I was just able to beautifully weave the system together, weave the different things that I learned from the system, and now see it as what it is and understand why some gates are individual energies and what that means, and the tribal energy and the collective energy, and how it all really works together. Like I'm starting to see the system come together after a whole year of just not doing it at all. So I don't know if it's just me or if you also feel like that's bananas, but yes. So I just really want to bring it back to that gap year, that pause year that made all this possible. I feel because that pause that I took was me allowing the knowledge to be embodied, to land, to settle. And I really see it as that, like when we're so busy and doing, we don't leave any space for the wisdom to actually become who we are, because we're like already gone when it wants to land, right? We're already gone. The wisdom, the integration, the embodiment never catches up to us, because we're just like off to the next, and our embodiment is like, oh wait for me, So that's kind of how I see it in my mind. And so I just think it's so beautiful that if you are someone that is feeling your body's pulled, your soul's nudge to take a pause, like trust in yourself, trust in that pull, because I know that if you don't, you will continue to activate. You will continue to, what is the word? I'm brain fogging. You will continue to, I'll just let it go. You will continue to live as that version of you that is unaligned and sucking and depleting your energy. And not as it only is it depleting your energy, it will create even more distrust between you and your body and your nervous system and yourself. This is the path to disassociating and disconnecting from yourself, is if you continuously override your intuition and override your sacral responses and override how your body feels. That is what leads to eventually like that distrust and that inability to trust in yourself. I know I'm like repeating the trust word so many times, but that's the essence of it, is that building that trust with yourself comes with honoring and listening to yourself, even if it's scary, right? Your logical mind will try to stop you because it thinks, based on past evidence, it thinks that you need to do this, continue to do this in order to survive. But the thing is, if we only base our future on what we can do or have done in the past, then we already know what the future is going to look like, right? It's going to be the same. So what kind of life is that? And I don't want to live in that kind of life. So that is why I'm in such devotion and commitment to my sacral, to do things that don't make sense to my logical mind. Because what made sense has gotten me where I am, which I am very thankful for. But if I want something more, if I want something different, right? Something that doesn't live in the predictable realm, then I have to do something that's not logical. And it just makes sense, right? It's funny, like I'm using logic to explain something that's not logical for you, but it doesn't make sense for us to do something logical and expect magical, like crazy, miraculous results. It doesn't. So it takes you and faith and believing in something that doesn't make sense in order for something that doesn't make sense to happen. And I really trust that. And I really believe that. And I'm going to continue to devote myself to that. And I am very early in the process. I'm just going to be real point blank and honest about that, because it has only been 1 week. But as a manifesting generator, to me, it feels like it has been so long. But it has only been 1 week since I have felt so much peace and satisfaction in my life, because I have been following my sacral, and only my sacral, because I was tired. I was so tired of following my logical mind and then ending up in a space where I was so still questioning my purpose, my life, my contribution. And then I would just continue, right? I would follow my sacral a little bit, but then go back to the logical mind, and then end up right back where I started, of like, oh, questioning my purpose, like, am I doing this right? And I was tired of doing that. I just wanted to really feel joy, fulfillment, satisfaction, peace, alignment. And my alignment is through my sacral. So by following my sacral, that is why I don't feel like I'm living my life wrong anymore, because I'm doing it even though it doesn't make sense. Okay? I'm doing it even though it doesn't make sense. Even though someone on the outside will look in and say, hey, you're doing it wrong. You should be doing it this way. And good for that person, right? If it is the thing that works for that person. But it is not the thing that will work for me. And I know that now. I know that in such a deep level and such an embodied level that I am able to share that with you in a way that I don't need to convince you, because I'm speaking my truth. And I know that if this is also your truth, that you will resonate with it, you will take it, and you will let it sit and land with you. And if it doesn't resonate with you, well, that's amazing too, because like I have been saying and sharing, we all learn either through validation or contrast. Okay? And if you don't agree with me, amazing, because you have just learned something about yourself through contrast, by me being the contrast of what you believe in. Okay? So that is what I wanted to share with you today. Just the beauty, the magic of pausing. Taking that pause is really the feminine way of being. And we need to balance our masculine energies with the feminine. And if you masculine your way through life, you will most likely never be able to feel in your body. You will never be able to feel that sense of beingness and that sense of finally getting there, because the go is the masculine. If you don't have any of the feminine energy, you will never be able to just sit and enjoy what you have created for yourself. So that is the beauty of masculine and feminine energy within all of us. Masculine does not mean men, does not mean being male. Feminine does not mean you're a girl or being a woman. Okay? Don't get those mixed up. I'm talking about energies. I'm not talking about gender roles and all that stuff. All right. That is what I have for you today. I hope whatever I shared with you landed in your heart. And let me know in the comments what resonated for you, what you took away from that, what didn't resonate with you. I am all about receiving your stories, your perspectives. All truths are welcome. Like one of my mentors says, I allow for multiple truths to exist. And that's just such a freeing, empowering phrase that I will continue to use and thank her for. Her name's Jacqueline Shaw. I love her. She has just been so amazing, such an amazing mentor, and I aspire to be like her in so many ways. But anyway, yeah, let me know, share in the comments down below. Let's connect. And if you're looking for a guide, for a coach, for a mentor, you know what to do. Send me a DM. Let's chat. Let's see if this is the right fit for you. And I would love to be your mentor on your journey to becoming the most aligned, authentic, powerful version of you. All right. I will see you tomorrow in tomorrow's live. All right. Love you and have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.